Welcome to Emilak Online Tutorial. Now before us is this question in vector, and it says, I read that given that P equals to xi plus 3j and Q equals xi minus 2xj. Now find the value of x for which P and Q are perpendicular. So the vector P and the vector Q are perpendicular. What does this imply? Now the perpendicularity of two vectors implies that they are at 90-degree, okay, to each other, y, and this is what? X, okay. And a general formula that guides the perpendicular, the angle between the angle and the dot product and their magnitude of two vectors is given as cos theta equals a dot b all over modulus of a, which is the magnitude of the vector of a, and the modulus b, which is the magnitude of the vector of b. And this can also be gotten by using this formula, x squared plus what? Y squared. Okay, so I'll be just using this to explain this for beginners. So now that this is the formula in terms of the angle relationship with the product of the two vectors and the magnitude. Okay, now since this is the angle here is 90, it implies that angle theta, cos theta, will definitely be what? 0. So we are left with what? 0 equals what? A dot b all over a, then b. Okay, so at this point now, if we are to cross multiply, okay, the magnitude, so we end up having that a dot b will actually give us what? 0. Okay, so in this case now, instead of a dot b, we'll be looking at what? P dot q. So here p dot q will now give us what? 0. And dot implies that this times this. So here we have xi plus 3j now into xi minus 2xj all equals what? 0. So let's multiply this times this will give us what? X squared I squared. This times this will give us minus 2x squared, okay, then ij. The same thing, 3j times xi will give us plus 3x ij, then 3j times 2 minus 2xj will give us minus 6x, okay, then j all squared, then equals what? 0. And there's one thing you also need to know when it comes to vector. I times j will give us what? 0. Okay, now I times I will give us what? 1. Okay, now the reason, and this is because when a unit vector of a particular of a vector and a unit vector of another vector multiplies, it gives 0. Now a unit vector multiplying itself will give us what? 1. So applying this rule here, and you can see this I squared, which is the same thing here as I squared equals 1. So this one is 1, giving us what? X squared. Now this one ij 0 0, so this then minus j squared, which is the same thing as what? This give us what? 6x equals what? 0. So at this point, let us factor out cx. So x here will now be 0, and x minus 6 equals what? 0. So x equals 0, and x, adding 6 to both sides of the equation here, gives what? 6. So the value of x for which P and Q are perpendicular is 0 and 6. Thank you, and God bless you.